Meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Let me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call members, please.
Chairperson Gary Roth.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Shelley Schmelzling.
Here.
Lawrence Smothers en route. John Carroll.
Here.
Mark Buckeye.
Here.
Barbara Boswell Peterson.
Here.
Samir Zugame.
Present.
Eric Bennett. We have a quorum.
Approval of the agenda.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes from February 24th, 2020.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as they are. I actually read them at time.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public Works report.
All right, so the bushes at Pear Marquette entrance were removed. The new playground equipment and mulch was delivered. The playground site work is completed. Do we have an idea when they're coming in to do that?
My understanding is Thursday.
Thursday? Okay, that'd be perfect. The bushes that were here at City Hall that were becoming some of an issue whenever you were pulling out, they were kind of getting too big. We transplanted them at Pear Marquette up by the park house. So one of them's starting to leaf out. The other one, the wind has blown it out of the hole like twice. I put it in the third time. It stayed there this time, so hopefully it'll come back. I don't know. Pampas grass was cut at Main Street bathrooms and Pear Marquette. Started the dirt work near the new bathroom. It will be completed, seed and strawed in the next couple of weeks. Porta potty was delivered Pinkley Park. I anchored it down this time, so hopefully the kids can't tip it over and, you know, what happened last year. Multiple times that happened.
We're doing you a favor by putting a bathroom for you. You tip it.
It's probably not there, the ones that tipped it,
I
where they
know.
had a friend
I know.
inside.
And then all bathrooms will be open this week. That's on my Wednesday, maybe tomorrow, get out to Valley Springs, open that one up. It will be done this week. All the bathrooms will be open. Fergie's Playground is expected to start in the middle of the week. We talked about that Thursday. And then just cleaned up some little bit of storm damage down at Pinkley Park. Just kind of piled everything up into piles. I know we've talked about, it's not a bad idea to have piles of stuff sitting around for animals, you know.
Well, especially by the creek.
Yeah, and it's all like kind of on the creek, so. And that's pretty much all I got on the ops report on this.
Any trees down from wind damage? Anything major?
No. Like the one at Pinkley Park that I cleaned up was already a somewhat dead tree and half of it fell into the park. So we cut it up and just kind of stacked it up, give a place for the animals, birds and stuff to hang out. So
Have you guys started mowing or that's,
not yet.
it's going fast?
It's getting there. So I'm hoping maybe Pinkley Park will probably get mowed this week, probably on Thursday. Pear Marquette, it always starts turning green, and then I go to mow it, and then it looks like it's brown again. That's summer grass, that's zoysia. It'll start to green up, and then once you mow it, and then you're like, well, I made that look worse. So we'll have to just kind of go with the flow with Pear Marquette. So, but any questions? No? Am I good?
Great job, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have, most prices. I don't know if we want to talk about that now or when that comes in.
Whatever.
Whatever, you wanna talk about it now, might as
We
well.
can.
So we talked about doing mulch or wood chips. I think Gary has mentioned he likes the mulch better. Our prices is $1,172 for 66 yards of mulch. That's $17.76 a yard. Wood chips, $990 for 60 yards. It's $16.50 a yard for the mulch or for the wood chips. My personal opinion, I like the wood chips better. They're cleaner. Like when my daughter was young, I took her up Pear Marquette once and she went down the slide a couple of times and those pants were ruined. You
I
know what I'm
like the wood
saying?
chips, okay, on the playgrounds. I don't like it on the walking trails.
On the walking, yeah, you know, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But my thing, yeah, with the mulch on the playgrounds, man, those kids, they'll tear up all their clothes. You take them there, those clothes are gonna be
Yeah.
ruined pretty much. So,
Should we get two, a half and half, so we got enough wood chips for the playground equipment, half of it.
I would probably take a load of each.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to do like 3+ loads of mulch.
Cause we're looking at 66 yards and 60 yards. So
yeah, so you're looking at a little over $2,000 for the mulch and the chips.
What's that?
You're looking at a little over $2,000 for, 66 yards of mulch and the wood chips, you know? Now, walking trails, Valley Springs, have we gotten any word on that?
I guess we need to talk about that tonight.
Okay, just fill me in on what we're doing. I mean, the old trail, since we pulled all the rocks and stuff, it's grown back grass. So I mean, depending on what y'all decide on, it could just be mowed this year, and then once we decide how we're going to do that ADA trail around there, go from there, so.
So do we need a motion to purchase the $2,000 worth? Mulch and,
mulch and wood chips.
I make
I
a
mean,
motion.
we have to have, so I'd make a motion to.
Yeah, go ahead, I'll second
get
it.
Got a motion in a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a roll call on mulch?
And wood chip.
Mulch ball.
Mulch call and wood chip call.
Mulch and wood chip. Okay. Some ears who game?
Yes, sir.
Barbara?
So is there a number we want to keep it at? Do we want to just say 2,000? Because we got 66 yards of mulch and 60 yards. We can drop a couple yards of the mulch and just keep it at a $2,000 budget for both, or how do we want to do that?
I'd say, as you presented, because you got 66 yards for the mulch and 60 yards for the wood chips.
Yeah, just how
You
it,
can always use the extra somewhere.
okay, perfect, all right.
So do we need to put a cap on it, like 2,500, 2,250?
Oh, it won't be over that. It'll be,
It's what he presented to us.
Okay,
yeah, so we're at
2,000.
2,200 tops
okay.
is what it'd be, so.
So can we include that in the motion, up to $2,200? Would that be okay?
That's you amend it, I'll amend it.
Is that
We
okay?
amended to 22.
I mean, I would hate for him to stop at 2,000 if it's gonna be 2,200.
So we'll just keep it at, get what we can for 2,200.
Yeah, sounds good.
Grabbing the wrong ones.
And I will second that also.
David up.
Okay. Amended roll call vote. Some ears who game?
Yes, sir.
Barbara Bosler Peterson.
Yes.
Mark Buckeye.
Yes.
John Carroll.
Here. Or yes?
Shelley Schmelzy.
Yes.
Gary Raw.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
And here.
Here? Yes.
All right, on to hold, do you have anything else?
I have nothing else. Is there anything else that y'all need me for? No?
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Again,
Thank you.
Master Plan Committee reports. Fundraising Committee,
Nothing this month.
Trail Committee,
Nothing new, but the new playground will be adjacent to the new trail. and we're gonna have a handicap accessibility ramp. But we'll have that connected to the trail directly, so it's accessible.
Perfect.
Playground committee. Is this where we should talk about this playground?
I would say so.
Like Jeff said, it's all here, it's planned to be started putting in on Thursday. We did add a ramp, as Happy just said, to go from the trail to the playground. Go ahead.
What's the ramp? What is the ramp? Is it concrete ramp?
Yeah, it's a
No, it's part of the
Oh, part of the
system
thing,
ramp.
okay. Perfect.
So they've got, I'm sorry, so they've got the barrier that goes around to keep the mulch inside. This will attach to the trail and they have a level surface as it goes towards the playground.
Thoughts was of putting a fence around
Why?
it. And, well, I don't know that it's a bad idea. With it going down off the hill on the front side toward the soccer fields. You know, as far as keeping the kids a little more contained.
Isn't that the parents' job?
Not no more.
Nope.
It's just, so we were, talking about if we wanted to do a fence, to do a fundraiser deal, or, try to get donations for it. Kendra has sent me some layouts of our playground, and then she'll put a background to them, and Amanda Wynn has offered to make banners with the picture on it that we can put up, as a fundraiser thing.
I hate seeing fences dividing everything. I don't know. It's such a beautiful park. And then you'll chopping it up with fences and whatnot.
Where would they go, the fences?
Around this new playground.
I see.
So one thing I will pass on is that the Dave Club bench that that they bought, they want to put that up near the playground and have it facing towards the soccer field. So that would put a barrier between that and the bench potentially.
Right, it would just obstruct the view, you know what I'm saying? Well, the fence would.
Well, you'd have to go around to get in
Right.
and around to get out. It's just, it depends on if you think that's aesthetically pleasing or not.
What kind of a fence?
That's supposed to be what I said.
Like a coated chain link, green or tan or.
Boy, it doesn't sound very appealing. You
Like
think
a
it's
basketball
necessary for the safety?
I wouldn't mind seeing a fence around it.
I think because of the trail being so close to the playground, you're just gonna have people going by a lot. And that's what we talked about when we was up there, and strangers kind of maybe getting too close to kids while parents were on their phones.
Well, that's their problem.
Like I said, they should be paying attention to their children.
I know, but I see both sides. I see a fence could be useful, then I could see where it would not be so necessary, but
I'm not against the fence, but the money you spend on a fence, you can buy another piece of equipment down the road,
Mm-hmm.
because the fence is not gonna be cheap.
Would there be a way to design a fence that would be a little bit more, or a lot more appealing
Instead
than a
of
chain link?
right. I mean,
Money talks, yeah.
one advantage I do see of using chain link, it's kind of transparent. You can kind of, if it's green coating, you can kind of see through it. It wouldn't.
And are we talking about a fence only on the one side that separates, or all the way around?
All the way around,
It's gonna be very costly.
$4,000. And part of that already would be donated by the fence guys.
I would guess it would be more than that, a lot more than that.
What part of the message that a chain link fence all around the playground would send is we're afraid for our kids being molested by,
Well, I don't know, a lot
Trail,
of
yeah.
playgrounds that go up now have fences around them.
what's that?
A lot of playgrounds that go up now have fences around them.
Well,
All the new stuff they put in.
I guess
Perryville.
we are afraid for our kids. I
Yeah.
suppose.
How high a fence?
4 feet.
4 foot?
Are you thinking more about, John, are you thinking more about aluminum rail type? Like a,
Kind of like what we have around the cemetery.
yeah, but 4 foot,
Well-
4 foot high, but still, it would be a,
The cemetery fence hasn't worked out that
Well,
great.
and that's what I'm saying, depends on
it
what
wouldn't
material.
be that tall, it would, but
Well,
that
like
style.
Valley Spring Park, but
Yeah.
not like that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, if you have aluminum tubing, it's just gonna get that tough. You know, people,
And that-
kids standing on it, or kids, whatever. You gotta think of, you know, what's gonna last and either less vandal proof, so to speak.
But that's the only other stuff I can think of, unless you're gonna go white picket or,
No.
Yeah.
That would look a little hokey, I think,
Mhm.
don't you?
Green ticket?
Well, even hokier.
we were Hannibal, it might make
Right.
sense.
Yeah. We can have a fence painting contest every, whitewashing. I'm not trying to throw cold water on it if you think it's a good idea. Just, it's sort of a shame in a way.
Is the idea to have this fence immediately, or is it something we can table
Oh, it don't have to go up immediately.
till we get better? I mean, if somebody wants to bring back some ideas of different fence
Right,
pictures,
Barriers?
yeah, you know,
well, I mean, I think the whole idea is to keep the kids corralled, so, I mean, you know, barriers still, but you put big rocks around, that's not gonna help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as,
Maybe with.
But big rocks would be better.
yeah, I would like that.
Yeah.
If you do like, maybe like a rock wall
It would help keep the kids
contained.
contained in a reasonably nice way, I guess. Help the parents.
One part of the concern might be there that the parents, you know, with the ball field down there, soccer field, you know, may just be kids up there playing too. Without being parents right there with them.
Because that's your option, your children,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I think it'd be cool since it's kind of a natural little playground, so to speak. You could just have like big stones. I mean, of course, butted up, maybe stacked on top of each other. I mean, it wouldn't be as tall as 4 feet,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, maybe something like that, about that tall. I don't know, it just looked more natural. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at. I don't know.
I can see parents being more comfortable sending their kids up to play if it's fenced versus, I don't have to go with you right now. You can go and play and I'll be like here watching your brother play soccer. Do something else, just safety, mind safety,
Sure.
if it's a covered all the way around.
Are
I
there,
could see that.
are there gonna be gates to get in and out of this too, or no?
Just be the ramp, wouldn't it, off the.
Yeah, it'd probably just be the ramp. I mean, it could have a gate.
Well, no, I'm just curious.
And one thing you also want to think about is making sure that we put something up that can be expanded, because you'd like to
Right.
expand this.
The
Mhm.
playground,
It's a large playground area that was envisioned in the master plan.
right. I mean, if it goes far enough, you even have like just green space where they can play too, right?
That's called a soccer field.
Well, I didn't
They got that across the street with, near the pond as well. I mean, you got-
Right, but I'm talking about the area where the playground is, where the kids are gonna be, is what I'm getting at. And if they go across the pond, they're not gonna be in their little,
Fenced out area. But no, that'd be fenced out area.
Does the city own that area where people fly planes next to the burning ponds? That's a privately owned space? I was just curious about that.
It's actually outside city limits.
Really? I did not know that.
Okay, I know, right?
Well,
Yeah, we're having a discussion of a possible new fence around the playground. And I think we're edging toward approval of it, but with a little misgivings, and hope that the design can be made as appealing as possible. Is that a fair summary of the discussion?
I think we should get some samples of fencing so we kind of know what we're looking at as, chain link versus, some sort of other barrier, some sort of,
There's pluses for safety and comfort of the parents and stuff.
Is anybody opposed to it?
Well, there's been some concern expressed about the appearance of it, if it's a chain link fence, and, I wouldn't say there's anybody opposed to it.
like, I mean, my thing is like, if we're gonna go,
Can y'all please speak up? I can't, very bad.
Shame to say that, but
I can't hear.
so, so what I'm thinking is like, if any fence that we get, I think it should be more as see-through as possible. That's my whole thing. And I don't think like black. I mean, I just kind of wanted to blend into everything. That's my whole thing. And the chain link does actually do that, especially if you do that green coated. Yeah, but
especially if it's maintained well and nice and tight, and not saggy,
right.
holes under it,
Yeah,
the way chain link fences often
right.
sort of
Do
become.
I would think too that the type of fence we would get would depend on if it's gonna be donated, how much money,
Yeah.
we got a great donation, we could do really nice fencing.
All right, but I mean.
That'd be kind of cool, opposed to just chain link, but.
Well, and that was what I was saying, but I'll still want, like, to use, like we said something about, like, something similar to what's over at the
Valley
cemetery, for example. It's black, it just stands out to me, and depending on your material, if it's aluminum, it's gonna get all bent up, and then it's gonna look bad. Where your chain link doesn't get bent up really, but
And the topping of it is safer for children than like if we would go with the old.
orderlies, those,
or something like
I
that.
would think those probably all get broke off anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some issues with the cemetery fence also, but,
Well, I personally think a fence would be nice from a parental's point of view, just for safety, because that road's right there too.
Right.
That goes through there.
so, can we get, I think we get sample, Christmas samples in here, or get some pictures of that.
Waldsteiners donated that.
Nice.
Anything else on the playground?
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
Anything else on the playground committee? Touch base that they're gonna start on a Thursday.
Did you mention about the banner,
Yes.
say future home? That'd be kind of cool. I don't think so, not me. Well,
Bathroom committee.
I don't have anything on that. I do have something outside of what we have listed here, but I don't have anything more on bathroom. I saw Nick and Mary at the house opening tour they had with the Foundation for Restoration. He would like to get started on putting in natural grasses in that area. We talked about the other sinkhole. because that was part of what the master plan was to put in the natural grasses. So he's gonna be talking to some experts about that and see if there's a way to get a grant. Maybe look at that in the next year or so. That'll be the next step, is that we would work on that area to get these plants in up near the top, and put the natural grasses in, let those start growing, turn it into a nature conservancy-like area.
Wetland kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's what,
Yeah,
Only part of the area, the other part is dry.
dry land, yeah.
and isn't there a trail eventually gonna go up through that, right?
No, our trail did,
Or along the edge of it?
probably all did. I know, well, we've got, stays on the other side of the street, it's just way.
I think John had mentioned something about putting signage up of the various plants.
You're gonna want signage, because it's gonna look like a weed patch.
Right.
For several years.
Right.
And it's okay if there's an explanation for what people are looking at, but if you don't, it looks like we're
Neglecting.
neglecting it.
Right, right.
Speaking of neglect, is anything ever gonna, are we just seeding around the bathrooms up there, or do we have money for
haven't-
landscaping, or?
We haven't finished landscaping yet. Of the new bathroom?
Yeah.
We haven't finished putting more dirt in and landscaping that. So that's next,
When's that gonna happen?
anytime. Like to do it in the next couple of weeks.
That'd be great, because the season's starting, you know, I mean.
We're aware, yeah.
Thought I'd remind you. Yeah, spring's here,
Yeah,
spring's here, and then
yeah.
summer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then winter, and then fall.
So this week we're helping Perryville because they had the storms come through and our crews are down there assisting with limb pickup. Because they had so many limbs from the ice storm
They haven't picked them up, yeah.
and then so many limbs from the tornadoes. So
Yeah.
they put out a call for other cities to help, and we're volunteering for a couple of days this week and one day next week.
Maybe we could borrow their mulcher and be able to have people use their own yard, put their yard waste out on the curb and,
Maybe not have a mulcher.
well, they have done it in the past. You put your stuff out on the curb and they come by and pick it up.
I think they just pick it up.
They just pick it up and take it to a big pile and burn it, kind of like what we do.
Yeah, but we don't go by and pick people's yard waste up like they
No,
do.
no, we don't. We don't have the manpower, but then, yeah, they don't have a mulcher that they drive around. That's it.
New business, Dory wall frames for wood post mount.
So the story walk was a discussion with the trail up at Valley Springs, the Valley Springs Trail to go in. This is from John Long at the library. And he was looking at the cost, the total cost of what they would be. They're all kind of the same. I believe that the Vacker design, the Vacker sign had it was the least amount at $31.58, a couple of dollars off the others. This is what they were looking at putting in up there. And if the park board wants to, when the trail goes in, this is what the cost would be to put those signs in for the storybook trail.
I guess he probably did some comparison of different.
And that's what these are. You got various companies, but they're all roughly the same type of, same type of setup.
Roughly.
And then they would fill in the books, we would be putting in the posts.
I still like the idea.
How many are they gonna do, or we don't know yet?
Well,
Well,
you know,
I didn't,
yeah,
I didn't look.
When's that trail gonna get done?
We can talk about it.
When's there anything mentioned about that?
He just want us to see that to us for reference, or does he want us to?
well, he knew you guys wanted some prices on what that was gonna cost.
Okay.
We hadn't done the trail yet, so there wasn't any rush to do it, but he had them sitting there, said, I'm gonna try to catch up with you. I still wanna pursue this, but we just haven't had anything happen up there. But yeah, this would be the cost. So you're looking at $3,200. Yeah.
And what would they made of? I'm sorry, don't worry about it. I can read it.
Aluminum.
Okay.
And refresh my memory, they want us to pay for that, or we said we would pay for those?
Yeah, they asked us to pay for it, then they would do the book installation. They would maintain the books that would go in.
Is the trail at Valley Springs on the agenda anywhere, or what about that?
Under other business?
That's where we're at now.
We're there.
We're on
We're on
new business, then
Well, I
we
thought we're on new
we
business.
go down to any other business, yeah.
Do we have any other new business?
Well, I thought we were gonna talk about this.
That's any other business.
I see. Maybe I
Motel
should,
business.
maybe I should have made a point of having it added. I just
It's
thought,
on there.
you know,
It's under,
Yeah, it's
any
on
other
there.
new business.
So
Any other
Yeah,
business.
that's on there, John.
Because we'd already talked about it.
oh, it's not on mine.
Oh, you gotta know.
Oh,
that.
maybe I.
Yeah,
there's a new one.
So are we going to, did we vote
Gotta
to
have
do
data.
this?
No, that's down the road.
Okay,
So sorry.
I like the idea, I like when they presented that. I think you need something neat.
Gary, I brought up to the board, I want to make sure Happy knows.
Hello, please.
Valley would like to use the Pier Mark, no, not Pier Market, Valley Springs Park as part of our field day. I shared with the group, it would be on May 16. Is this something I need to come down to the city, fill up anything, or just get permission? We've done it before.
Usually it's just permission from the park board.
Okay, I got most of their blessings. I mean, I just want to make sure that you're okay with it. In the past, we set up an obstacle course over there and, you know, it allowed the kids to go over there. And if there was some dead time, they actually got to play with whatever, you know, playground equipment they had. It kind of killed some time for some of the little ones, because it would be like K through 2 age group. So if that's okay with you guys, I will proceed and tell the school, we're good.
They do it.
Thank
In
you.
the park.
Hope for a dry day.
Hope for a dry day.
Maybe I have something that's not on the agenda. Can I pop that in here real quick, or no?
You want to vote on it?
No, no,
Or do you want to
no, no,
just
no. It's
Informational
just,
purposes.
it's just informational, just informational. Somebody had came up to me, and I thought they were gonna be here tonight, but, they're wanting to know what the likelihood of getting permission to do concerts up in the park, at Pier Market. And I said, I don't think anybody here would have a problem with that. So, you know, but just so you know, somebody'd probably be coming, and I'll talk to them and tell them whenever it's gonna come up to make sure we get it put on the agenda, so. But I like it, get more people in the park.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's what it's for.
I think it's a great idea. I feel like I'm a lone voice on this subject, but if it could be without amplification, acoustic, it would be more humane and respectful of the people who live near the park.
Understand that, yeah. I don't think that was quite the kind of concept, I don't know, that you'd have to see what they had in mind. Yeah, they had, because I don't know what the person that they were talking about, I have no idea what kind of music they play or anything, so.
And you could have time
They-
thing, like, depending on the time of year, if it's daylight or whatever, you need like 6 to
Right.
10 underneath
Right.
the curfew time.
Yeah, the
Right.
hour makes.
And power, they were asking about power, and I'm like, okay, like I said, I'm just throwing it out there, they'd like to see about doing that in the future.
How does that, all right, let's just say, for instance, they do that, but they charge admission. Is that a whole nother book of worm, you know?
I don't know that you could do that in the.
I'm just saying, you know, I'm just asking these questions, you
Mhm.
know?
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's up to the park board, and I would think that would be your concern, is that somebody's making a financial gain off of that. There's nothing coming back to the park board, I
Right.
should say, or the city. So I think that if you say, you know, either you don't do that, it has to be free and open to the public, or there has to be some consideration given to the parks department.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. I mean, because they could easily block it off at the entrance $10 per car, what, I'm just saying, if they were in there to make money off of something.
Right.
Which could eventually happen if somebody just had a ban there once for no charge,
I think it was gonna like be free to the public type thing, but I
Any concessions gonna be available?
don't
Don't know.
don't know anything about any of that. They just asked about what it would be like getting permission to use the park.
I think you may have to think about alcohol as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
If this ends up being a go, we'll make sure we'll do the concessions and make the profits. We will.
Okay, that's all I have. Just bring it to your attention.
Any other business? John?
Thank you, Mr. President.
So formal.
I think you'll recall at a previous meeting, the staff asked for permission to take out those Spitzer shrubs at the entrance to the Marquette Park. They did. Some of us looked at it ahead of time and agreed that they were sort of past the point of being a positive. And, but it also showed probably why those Spitzers were planted there. It's a real steep slope from the entrance road down to the bottom of that sinkhole. And it occurred to a couple of us who went out to look at it that maybe we could have some kind of a dressing, if you will, for the edge of the park road, framed nicely and retain the visibility of the slope, but also provide enough of a visual signal that people would be less likely to drive off of the edge. So the idea was to come up with a plan that was appealing, that could be seen through, and easier to maintain, if I understood what the staff had said. And Lawrence Myers came up with this. I thought it was awfully generous of him to do it. And, he's open to suggestion, but it looks like it could be at least a starting point for discussion. The question was raised earlier informally, the 3 new large trees that which won't be large for many years, to provide a framework for the view. Would that interfere with any existing trees that are there now? And I know the intention was that it would not, because we have some established cedar trees there and they're fine. But these would be on this side of those trees. Anyway, it's controlled, it's easier to maintain, and you can see through it, and yet it would provide a nice framework for the view, which is actually a pretty interesting view for the park visitor. And I think we don't take advantage with this master plan that we're, talking about developing, and we're going to be taking a little bit more, but we actually have something kind of unusual at Marquette, and we take it for granted around here, but sinkholes and that kind of topography is a little unusual. It's very interpretable, and it's part of our identity as a geographical location. You can even connect that to the story of limestone and stuff like that if you want to. But anyway, this would maintain the open view toward that kind of topography, but look nicer than just a raw, bare hillside. So I'm bringing it to the board, park board, for your consideration.
I like it.
I think it's beautiful.
I like it a lot.
By the way, this would not be a cost item. The theory behind this is that the money for this installation would be donated. And he's already working on that, and, so,
There you go.
That's a win-win situation there.
well, we hope so. I mean, it's not, people don't like it. Hopefully we'll get something we like and then go for it.
So you want the motion to approve this?
Sure don't want chain link up there, says it's.
Yeah, that's it. But even if it's painted green, I don't think it would work as well.
What, the split rail? Oh,
But by the way, when he says split rail, he doesn't mean split rail. He means the kind of rail that we have at the park on
Yeah.
Main.
The Gage Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of a post and rail,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
Not rather,
No, it's
when I
not.
think of a split rail, I think of,
Stacked.
you know, which is
That's exactly.
really not part of our cultural tradition. It would be over in the Ozarks, but that's not, but the kind of fence we have at the, which I think looks nice.
I do too.
It's rustic, but it doesn't look phony rustic.
Right.
Right.
Well, if you're looking for a motion, I'll make a motion to approve this.
I second the emotion.
I love it.
I have a motion and a second,
You want to roll call it?
please.
All right. Roll call to approve the landscape design. Samir Game,
Yes.
Barbara Bowser Peterson,
Yes,
Mark Buckeye,
Yes.
John Carroll,
Yes,
Lawrence Mothers,
Yes.
Shelley Smelsley,
Yes,
Gary Roth,
Yes.
unanimous.
Unanimous.
well, thank you very much. I'll report to Lawrence that, he's, will remain open to discussion if anybody wants to follow the progress and stuff. But we'll get the money first.
Oh, would they install it?
Oh, yeah, it would be, materials and installation.
Man, do it all.
But that would not be done without supervision from the city people. Just, so we're doing it right.
Okay,
Yeah, it's for farmers.
the issue with that at all.
He knows what he's doing.
Well, Lawrence knows what he's doing.
That's what I said. March was more, I mean, the city work.
Well, don't say that.
No, I mean, like, on certain,
Well, they need for us, they may need, us to use equipment, they may need some
Yeah.
assistance, yeah, we'll definitely be able to.
Sure. There might even be a little grading necessary, I think, on some of the slopes.
Yep.
Yeah.
that is one heck of a step.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Happy the house at the city park is used for what?
Mainly storage in the basement and just staff use upstairs.
Okay, I just didn't know if it's being used at all or just sits there.
So all the new park equipment that we got, that's where we stored it. We've been storing mowers down there, other items.
Used to be report board meetings.
Yeah. Does the city ever get people call and say, can we like camp it in the city park? Does that ever happen?
I can't.
Camp, like, put a tent. Does anybody ever ask to spend the night in our city park? I'm just curious if it's like pitch a tent or an RV or, I mean, have we ever had that happen before? I'm just
We
curious.
have dusk to dawn rules. So I doubt it.
We've had it asked because of the rules, we haven't, but when Chip does his fundraiser up there now, we get more of those kind of questions. Was it sure to Fed or somebody else had requests to do that at one time, when we had some festival or some group that was meeting, I can't remember what. Maybe it was the,
gravel classic maybe?
no,
Eclipse?
Eclipse, that was, yeah. So, but that's not the only time, it's not often.
Okay.
We had a request come into staff today, an individual wants to have a get-together out there. And it would be kind of where across from Betty's Field, that lower soccer field area. So the idea is that they want to get together and kind of recreate what kids used to do. They'd gather out there and drink,
oh,
hang
wow,
out,
A
just,
field party.
yeah. But I guess that was the meeting place at one time, was up there.
No, it was the gravel park.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Oh,
up-
yeah.
Oh,
Up across from where this playground's going.
right,
yeah,
Background.
Sad Ground Park. Oh, I keep thinking the.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Depends on what you get.
Gary?
So anyway, they want to know if they need to come in and if alcohol's involved, yes, but do they need something to reserve the park? Are you worried about being up there?
Are these like older people?
Yeah, they would be now. Yeah.
So they're just gonna have like, remember the 80s night or something, and people come up there, and that could be fun.
Just gonna hang out and
Drink and stuff and leave the park.
I say, if those are my friends that remember the sixties nights.
Yeah, we use the big.
Really?
So are they asking permission because it could be after hours? Or is this something they can do during the day?
No, I figured it's, yeah, probably into the evening, kind of the same as what went on when you were dragging or doing the loop. You've met in the late afternoon and then you'd be touring. you know,
Early
so
morning before
late at
school.
night.
Do kids still do that? I don't
The
know.
thing is, I mean,
I don't know.
in a month, it won't be getting dark until 9-ish.
9 o'clock, yeah.
Well, everybody's getting old and.
Right.
No, they'll be on the side by side.
Well,
now.
Well, parks,
I do too.
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I mean, it's outside what normally you would allow people to do,
I agree.
but then, you know, if you come in and get that request, you can do something extra. But yeah,
right.
I see what you're saying.
But what I'm saying, I mean, if it's gonna go out in the evening hours, I mean, I just don't know that. I don't know.
You know what it is? We're just so not used to that happening anymore.
Yes.
No, it doesn't
right.
happen, people be like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But if they would keep their noisy side-by-sides out of it, you know, because those
Well, nobody's-
side-by-sides are, s-
Nobody said they were bringing side-by-sides.
That's-
Just saying,
I know,
you know,
I would think.
I mean, they
that.
do have that fundraiser that they had up there.
And how do you regulate, like, okay, say we give them permission June 3rd to do it, Friday nights, June 3rd's a Friday night, and then they'll be like, well, let's do it again next Friday night, and then next Friday night, and, you know, it could be an ongoing thing on Friday nights.
Right.
You know, I have no problem with people congregating and getting together like old times, I miss the
Right.
old times.
No, I
It's
think
just
that's,
like
I think it's a
anything
great
else.
idea. What I'm saying is, if they wanna hang out into the late evening hours after the park is supposed to be closed.
Well, that's between the police and them, then, isn't it?
Well,
Well, they
I
have
know,
to
but
be
that's what they're
told
wanting,
that-
that's what they're wanting permission to do though.
After the park closes? Is it at
Possibly.
11 PM?
I thought it was at dark.
No,
No, I think the city park isn't,
I think
Valley Spring is
sunset,
going to dusk.
Okay.
yeah,
I thought they both.
But I think, I'm pretty sure there's a time on Peter Marquette.
yeah.
Oh,
Since
okay.
then.
I think it's later than 10,
I-
because ball games.
yeah, I thought it was
used to go
11.
on longer than that.
Well, but I mean, you just have to tell them, hey, you have to clear out of here by 11 o'clock.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's,
By
Tell
law,
them they have a curfew, they have to be home,
yeah, just like we used to be.
just like they had to
You
when
don't
they
have
were
to go
kids.
home, you just gotta leave.
Oh, they'll have their kids come get them.
Yeah,
That's the truth. That's,
I mean, that could be kind of fun too,
so, I mean,
you know.
if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, absolutely, why not? You get people up in the park again, you know? I think it's great.
let them have it.
Yeah.
Just let the police know they're there.
Oh, they'll know.
Or just tell them that they have to be gone at
Yeah.
yeah.
that
And we're
time.
dealing with people from the 80s. Of course,
Right. And we know what we were like, though.
yeah, me and my sister were just talking about that today. Like,
Okay, all right, we'll pass it on.
And I had one more, it just popped.
Sounds
in.
like fun. Are we invited? Is the park board?
and, I mean, we
We
personally,
are,
I'm not putting it together, so I don't have any right to say yes or no.
but we
there's
can't
nothing that says
say,
you
you know,
can't.
I mean,
So they can gather, but I
Yeah.
think what they're worried about is that if something else is going on, it's like, well, if you want to reserve it, you have to come to the park board.
Oh,
If you want to just go,
Yeah,
then go.
we can't say yes or no to that.
Yeah. But if they have alcohol, yeah, that's an issue because we don't allow it
Well,
without permission.
and do we,
They have to get an alcohol permit from the city to do that anyway.
To
And
consume.
is there-
To have alcohol.
is there any kind of stipulations on that, like, vendor alcohol sales, your own personal sales? You know what I'm saying? Out of your own cooler is allowed, or is it,
You mean like
The
if you
park-
or I went to the park?
yeah, we're getting permission.
Right.
from
In this
City Hall.
case, we're looking at trying to make it a little broader than just for you. Then everybody would have to get one if they wanted to drink in the park. individually. We were looking at trying to give it as an overall permit for everybody that comes up there that's part of that group to be able to do that.
Okay.
That's what I meant, like, what are the little fine print and that permission thing?
Yeah.
Or is it only like beer tent, or, you know, beer wagon, only alcohol allowed, or personal consumption?
One person would be responsible. That's what it ends up being.
And do they pay for that permit?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
Yeah, any alcohol permit has to pay for
what, $1,000?
Well, there goes that.
40 people come, you know,
I would buy a couple of these trees.
yeah, donate a tree,
It's a good sign that they've asked.
Right,
yeah.
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 That's a plus.
I like the idea. I'd say, yeah.
You're invited because you're a child of the 80s. Just go say, born in the 80s, I can go.
Yeah, that might be a good thing to have that person come talk to us also, you know?
Yeah.
Throw questions at them.
Yeah.
You might know who they are. No way. Anyway, one other little tiny thing that popped into my head earlier today. I was down at Main Street Park, and it may be too late, but I'm thinking, if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to get a hold of, try to get a grant again and go ahead and finish, since we have a sidewalk now, go ahead with the boxwoods down Jefferson Street, side of the sidewalk. So, get that all finished. So,
Is the food truck still there? I haven't,
it's permanent down over there.
okay. I didn't know if it's not working out, he moved or,
No, he's there.
No, it's still there.
okay.
I think they're doing fine.
Did we end up trimming
Did
the
the
tree
tree-
that was in his way? Did that end up getting trimmed at all?
No,
No.
And,
What the heck?
and
How would
there-
you do it?
I mean, so I went down, I looked at that. You can see right through.
Oh, yeah, you can easily see him.
It doesn't block anything.
Yeah.
So,
If they press on the issue, we're willing and able to help guide them in a way that would not destroy the beauty of the tree.
right.
But if they haven't pressed,
I was gonna make a joke and say, maybe not John, because he doesn't like you. Everybody else is okay.
you know, I feel guilty about it, so I
No.
would probably be more lenient than anybody else.
If you think about it, go down there and look at that left side of the restroom where we had that other Blue Atlas seating. It's gone now. I guess it had died. See what you think about something we can put over there. It looks odd to me. And I know that the grass grows tall all along there. I think that may have been an issue, why it maybe died out at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
but
Sure.
see what you think. You know, it just looks so
We
nice.
have a task force.
Right. It just looked really nice when it was
Yeah.
more symmetrical, but anyway, sorry.
We do have a couple boys that they're gonna be up for Eagle this coming year, and they still don't have any project. Is there anything I can
Bad
persuade them?
Bad houses.
I mean, seriously, if you guys, more bad houses, is that, I don't know. That seems to be like the going thing in the park.
No, we went for all those mosquitoes.
Those probably need to be cleaned out again.
Or owl houses too.
Probably.
Owls are good for
Oh,
Mold.
yeah.
situation and. But Eagle Scouts, don't they want little bit bigger projects than just a little? house?
It depends on what they get approved and not approved. Some projects are so big, some projects are silly.
Yeah.
We've had kids literally drew 4 corners on our school playground and did like a 4-square thing, and that was their Eagle project. I'm like, how was that even a project? It took
Well,
me
it
10
isn't
minutes.
part of the project, them thinking it up and them.
Mhm.
Well, you have to think it up,
Never
yeah.
understood. People come to us for, why should we give
It's
them
like-
the idea,
right.
you know?
Bring your kids.
Well, if there's stuff that we see that could be done,
Right.
Right.
Just,
There's a lot of parts to it. Not only do you have to present the idea, you have to include some of your boys to do the project with you. It
Right.
should never be a one-person job. You have to have a person who is a good handyman that will help you with the project as your sponsor. And then you're supposed to present all of this to the board and they approve it. And then you have to do it with the help of your sponsor and a whole bunch of boys. It can't be just, Mark can just do this project, draw 4 corners and call it a day. Doesn't work that way.
I did many of them.
Yeah.
One thing we had scheduled was the kite flying for this weekend. We canceling that?
I have not had time to do anything with that.
Since it's coming up so.
And now they got a 70% chance of rain Saturday.
Yes.
so
And there was a lot of wind.
There would have been plenty of
Yeah,
wind to
little too
fly
much
kites.
wind.
That
1/4-inch cable.
delayed.
And then you'd still be pulled along.
Free flights.
That was-
The
When
the
was
flags, that didn't come out, probably, does it?
Which is probably worse.
Okay, that might.
Remember what I was just gonna warn you, why people don't get his flags?
Who's in charge of the flags?
That's,
At the,
that's what, that's, I'm gonna talk to Matt, we'll adjourn, then I'll talk to, I said about it.
because that, they need to be replaced.
We just replaced a bunch of, you know, we.
And that's, and that's what,
This is
that's
important.
what it
Maybe I
was.
can't hear over here.
Nothing.
Okay.
Anybody have?
There is a little pavilion above the soccer field up on the plat where the pool used to be, that the shingles are rolled back on.
Oh.
Been that way for what plywood's weathered, so it needs to be reshingled.
Yeah, Jay taught blank on this one.
Above the soccer field, up where the pool
The old pool
was.
was.
back on the very-
That's where you lose me. See, that's where,
By
you-
the,
that's where you lose me, but it's.
To the left
by
of
the
the,
park house.
to the left of the,
Right up in the park house.
Okay.
is it the little one right there next to the park house?
No,
The other
the
one,
one out on the corner.
the other one, okay.
That overlooks the soccer field.
Out there where they sleigh ride, oh, you don't know where that's at either.
Right.
And you're just in the woods.
Maybe we need to give you a 1980s virtual tour of the park.
Yeah.
You would have liked it.
Okay. Landers, got it.
1954, when
Yeah,
that
just
thing
a
was
little,
built.
I mean, it's an actual fabricated bought little pavilion out there and
Yeah, put some,
the
Like
roof is rolled
wood.
up on
look like wood shake shingle or something. It's not shake shingle, but
it. It just,
it had, it's a shingle,
it had
it had
a
fiberglass
asphalt
shingles.
shingles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were old and we had a lot of wind. Okay.
Oh, I know, it's been a long time, but the plywood's weathered.
Okay. Oh, that's what you took.
But I'm just saying, when you put the new ones on, just get the ones, the architectural ones that look like shake shingle,
Mhm.
kind of like it's on my house. That look good on there.
You always usually get architectural
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like the,
because they last.
That
Right.
is architecture, that's what he's talking about.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Not 3 tabs.
But I'm talking about like, as far as color goes with the, go to like a, kind of like it's on my house that,
Oh, you're talking.
yeah.
I'm thinking of red.
Hot take.
Yeah,
Valley Spring Trail, do we want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, if we want to do this real quick.
Well, we kind of talked about that a little bit.
I'm just, sure, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if there's money to have it hired out, is there?
Not really.
It's not for the crush rock? You know what you're talking about down there?
Yeah, it has to be dug out,
Yeah,
Are we lying?
a barrier put down.
right.
I don't know.
The stuff for that walking path or the path that we talked about at Pinkley Park, that stone should be ready this week.
What's that called again?
Stone edging,
Okay. I mean, what kind of stone is it? Is it bluestone?
limestone.
Limestone. Okay. We're gonna put work order on it. Okay. But you're thinking the same thing all the way around. Valley Springs.
At Valley, are you at Valley Spring or are we at Pinkley Park?
Well, we just left Pinkley Park, crossing the tracks on the way out there.
So now we're at Valley Springs
Yeah.
again, so you're
We
back
just-
onto that trail. I'm sorry, I just
Well,
can't hear.
I know.
We just went across 61 and we're on M Road now.
So Pinkley Park is gonna have the edging put in
To the
To the
to the
playground.
playground. So it's the same edging we want to put out at Valley Spring. We're just making sure it's the same stuff.
Okay, and you were bringing it up, do we see that happening? I heard you say we don't have the money for that, and then you just
Yeah,
talked about it off.
That's
We're not
kind of
money
where
for-
we were at right now.
For a contractor, unless we're gonna try to do it in-house.
Which, how do we go about getting that started or done? I mean, here we are in the mowing season again. Do we put it on the list of things to do, or do we make sure it's done, or do we get volunteers to do it? To get it done?
I think one of the issues was the timing of the ground that's out. You have to be careful with soft soils and that you're dealing with. I mean,
As much grass and everything that's on it right now, I don't think that that's gonna be an issue.
so we can get on
I think so. Because it, you know, it's got that Bermuda grass on top of it that,
And are we talking about the upper part along the fence?
yes. Yeah, the
Still-
trail out there just goes from the parking lot out at M Road. Follows the fence around and then comes back along the bathroom and back to the parking lot. That's the only part of the trail that's getting
These,
that. The rest of
Correct.
it stays mulch.
and that's what I remembered or understood, that that's what was going on.
And then I think it was you and I that looked out there about just at that one spot narrowing the trail down a little bit between some trees and let it be.
Try to keep the trees
Mhm.
if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be any issues on the others, when you're looking at the bathrooms? That right side is always washing out and the gutters are got there, there's supposed to be sunken drainage and it's not.
Yeah, that'll all have to be go back under. And we've looked before about putting some, like Windsor stone walls
Around the bathroom.
alongside the bathroom.
Yeah,
To level that trail up somewhat. And then that would give the, you know, the water, the piping to go out
right,
underneath of it.
because I was saying, anything you put in there is just gonna keep. that
And then
doesn't
on
get
the other
addressed.
side, the, whatever they call that road going back to Mid-States or whatever, back to Hilbert's,
yeah.
the thought was to bury 3 or 4 pipes up through there, make like a French drain from inside the playground under the fence and just let them daylight any water that's built up inside there to get out. I kinda got a drawing growing up on everything.
Take that from you when you want to give it.
So this is
I got it.
a little bit more major than just laying.
Yeah, it's gotta be dug down and a mat put and then inch minus and then chat on top.
Okay, so.
I mean, it's not
Not trying to
super
be
big, you know, it's part of manpower.
Yeah, you do inch minus because you want.
We can
Yeah,
talk about
fine.
it. This is a-
Clean up, clean up and
And you put screens on top.
and then you get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just talking about where you're talking about the French drain.
Oh, no, that would be
Yeah.
actually, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that was discussed. Is this gonna happen in our future, or, I mean, how do
But
we?
you know, as far as the manpower thing, it's really only a 2-person job.
Except for building walls and
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as getting it dug out, you know, an operator and a truck driver,
pretty much.
you know.
Especially since we could probably take the skid steer right through there and get it cleaned out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then just lay everything back out.
My question would be like, how long would this take? Because that is a popular park. We're coming into the usage season. Is it gonna be a muddy mess and we started and then rested on and? Where do we
You're
wait?
gonna have, it's construction. It's gonna be a mess for a while. I
Right.
think the end result is probably what you wanna focus on, not the construction part. While people are out there, yeah, it ain't gonna be the best, but once it's done,
They'll see improvements to the park,
Oh, definitely.
you know.
instead of the sign that's been there for 2 years.
My biggest fear would, for it to get started and then
Stopped.
stopped and not finished. And then because we had to start mowing forever or whatever. That's why I'm thinking, when would be a good time to start this project so that wouldn't possibly happen? Are we,
The people in that park all year round. That's one of the things. So,
I think we just do it.
Well, and it's not that we're tearing the whole park.
right,
you know.
I'm just,
But you need a time frame. Are you gonna start at April 1st?
Yeah.
You know, can it be started April 1st, so it's completed by mid-April, you know?
So it's not gonna be April 1st, it's
Well,
gonna be,
this-
yeah, but I would suspect that it would be about 2 weeks' time to do it.
Okay,
Right. Middle of April, May, probably by the time we get to it, we'd have to make sure we got the stone ordered and it's gotta be delivered on time. So we can get that in there and get the rock in there and get it compacted correctly. I'd say a 2-week process. And that may be some days we're there and some days we're not, and you figure in the weather as well.
but, so we don't have a start date. We need to establish a start date so that you can
Well,
order
yeah,
the
it's
stone.
gonna be hard to determine
you
with,
can't do that, Barbara.
with what the weather
Right.
is
Well,
leading up to that. You know?
But you
You can
can-
say estimated.
But you can say, you can,
well,
order
it's gonna
the
happen
stuff.
this spring, or it's gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I
you
mean,
get a,
stuff can be ordered, but I don't, as far as to say we're starting May the 12th.
well, but,
It's impossible to do, because you get 14 inches of rain, you're gonna be pushed off.
that's understandable,
question
but
was-
if you wait to see, oh, we're gonna have 2 weeks of dry weather, and then you try to order your rock and order your stuff, you may not get it in that 2-week period. So if you say we're gonna start April 15th, that's our date, but it's not
I
gonna,
will order the stone tomorrow,
well, there you have it,
And
order the
be
stones.
That's all I was asking, is this a
in 2
project we were
weeks,
talking about?
you know, and
And then we'll
the
talk about it
the
again next
rock
week.
and the chat is just a matter of
And
driving
then
the
the
car
next-
off. You
Yeah,
know,
but-
it's,
but you need, we've been saying we're gonna do this for how long? And it's like, it never happens because you worry about the weather. Well, fine, if it starts raining on the day you're gonna start, then you start 2 days later or whenever it dries up, but you at least have that date that you're gonna start and not some arbitrary date out in the future,
I was just shooting for a year.
Yeah, so it's like the people that were gonna come back and take my tree down. They said they'd be back on Tuesday. This was years ago. And yeah, we never, they never did show up and they
See, that
never
date
said
didn't
which
work out.
Tuesday.
They didn't work out, did it?
Well,
Wednesday.
but, so,
How does this work? Just educate me, walk me through this. So we talk about stuff here at our meeting. And this project, for instance, that's gonna take our workers to do. Do you go back to the workhouse and say, I need this on your agenda or whatever, or we need this done? Or do they determine when they can fit it in? Or, how does the process?
So we coordinate with all the other projects that we have. So yes, I'll go back and talk with Corey when he's back in the office next week. We'll plan out what we're going to do over the next couple of months and put this in there. But it depends on what we have going on. And again, rains and any other
Right.
disasters that may occur, we hope not. And then we can get started on it. But we've been held up because of design issues, because of the determination of what kind of edging we wanted to use. It's not that we didn't get to it. It was, we haven't decided how we want this put in fully yet. Now we're to the point we know what we want in there. So it should be able to go pretty quickly.
For takeoff.
Awesome.
Cleared for takeoff.
Good. I just didn't know the pecking,
Just don't say.
what happens, what's the discussion leads here, how that happens.
When it gets close to us knowing when the date is gonna be, can we post it on the Facebook
Mhm.
page? So that way when the construction start, you don't have all the people complaining about.
Well, the first thing I'll probably complain about is we'll have the limestone edging delivered and put in the parking lot. We'll take up spaces. And that'll be your first clue. And
Is
then
that where it's gonna be stored?
I would say, I'd like to have it on site.
Yeah.
Instead of having it
P
travel.
16.
Put it in one spot and then move it to another.
After-
Yeah, issues.
Don't start it.
And that's
after
close
May
enough to see
16th.
that, that once it starts.
Yeah.
Gary's retired, he can drive around and keep track of that stuff.
Sure.
Reach out to you and you go to do.
Anytime after May 16 would be great.
Yeah.
We got a field day, let's wait till after.
I don't
They'll have a field.
Do it in April. I'm good.
Do it in April.
Yeah.
We'll start it.
Okay, well, that's exciting news. I'm excited for that to happen personally, because I'm tired of walking in the grass over there in Pinkley Park. What's Pinkley Park gonna happen? Did I miss that?
You missed that.
That would be one of those projects that we have to do, that has to be put into our
It
list.
is snowing and it should be ready by the end of this week. It's already ordered.
Oh, that's great, okay. Good, did we talk about benches around the playground in Pinkley Park? Do we have benches still
We put it on the agenda for next month.
anywhere? Okay.
So we have money, but the issue is that we're using that money to do all these other projects at this point.
Okay,
Well, there was, and I don't know if there still is, a few benches that had came out around, like the ones from like Little Tykes, expanded metal rubber coated. There was a few of them. I think there was a couple back at the Girl Scout shack.
We use those around the sinkhole.
could y'all please
I think
speak
there
up
was
a
still
little?
couple.
Can you speak up a little bit? I'm sorry.
I said, I think there was some Little Tyke style expanded metal rubber coated benches that had came out in different places. I think there was a couple in the Girl Scout shack.
Check on that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That'd be a good project.
So we'll look for that. And that's, it's not our
Yeah,
park bench,
Right.
but
right,
our the style that we decided on.
something to sit on.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for speaking up.
Huh?
Very aggravating for me, so I'm sorry. Not
Okay.
not being able to hear.
But you're good.
Motion to adjourn?
Have a motion, have a second. All
Motion
in
to
favor?
adjourn.
Yay.
Let's do this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?